So somebody asked me a question, how deep is the spiritual realm? How far can you go in the realms of the spirit? And the truth is, I was surprised such a question came up. Not because I don't think such a question can be answered, but because it's not oftentimes you hear a question like that, how deep is the spiritual realm? And I understand that the person just wants to know how fast you can go. But the truth of the matter is, this, the realms of the spirit does not have any depth. When I say that, I don't mean it's not deep, but it does not have a defined depth to say that, okay, this is how far that you have to go when it comes to spirituality. I mean, to date, science has not been able to understand how vast or wide or far the universe is. Nobody has been able to measure the farthest planet from the earth. So if that be the case, even through science and technology, then if the realms of the spirit is just a mirror of the realms, if realms of the physical, of the realms of this realm is just a mirror of the realms of the physical, then it simply means, what it simply means is that nobody can ever know how deep the realms of the spirit is. You cannot, it's just like trying to understand the foundations of the Creator. It cannot be explained, it cannot be understood. So what does this mean? This simply means that there is no limit in the realms of the spirit. So nobody has ever been able to absolutely, I know theories go around and teachings go around and principles go around, but nobody would actually know the principle of anything. Because whatever you think that is a principle of a particular thing is only a beginning to that same thing. So when you say these are 5 ways in making wealth, maybe the 5 ways in making wealth would only apply in 2010 or 2005. In this 2020, those 5 ways, 5 principles might not be effective today. So whatever principle or whatever anybody thinks they know about spirituality, or whatever standard or traditions that anybody holds, those standards and traditions is only temporary, it's only for the time being, because after those years another traditions comes up. So spirituality have to always be separated from tradition. You need to understand that. And you need to know on your path to spirituality, wherever anybody think they are, it's only the beginning. If man can get to it, it means it's only the beginning. Because man cannot get to the depth of the Creator. Yes, there are so many things around us that we don't even know the value of. There are so many weeds, plants, seeds, trees, mountains, waters, rivers. There's so many rocks. There's so many things around us that we can't even explain it. So if you can't explain your surroundings, how then do you find yourself in a position to explain the realms of the spirit? So the answer to that question is, it is not even a question, because to ask a question how deep, it means anybody knows the answer. And the truth of the matter is, nobody knows the answer. So that question cannot be answered, so therefore cannot be asked. Because if you ask, then it means you're suggesting that somebody knows the answer. And the truth of the matter is, nobody knows the answer. So the realms of the spirit has no ceiling, has no limit. The sky is only the beginning to the realms of the spirit. Odumankuma. 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 Papa, ye chira wonsa. I want abo wo wiada onsada. Nti na ye chira wonsa. Inya asase enye wiye. Tumi bia anyi wa wate wase a obete wase. Tumi na afro. Ti asefo ina afro. I want one it asefo asase do so wonyemu. No wo free wo so. No one chen. No whatever. Yada wase papa. Wo bambo wo kanko. Wo yansan wo nyemizi. Ye chira wonsa. Yentum mfa ma obi because oye ewu nchen na ofiri ba na emom ye de chiro the yansi den yi papa asase ya maame ye ma onsa je wonsa sase ya maame jensa sase ya maame jensa sase ya maame jensa enbiri yenze na bon maame aseda na yedere mo da akan ye ho abon ye ho ba na de wazi yenyim e de wa churchren e de wa man yansa e de wa hyen na hozen edwa men na pomizin ebonye busuan ho ban emen bi me yedo to yam pono do emen bi me yedo to yan kotokum emen bi me yedo ko na yedo ba ye busuan na da wase belinated truth ebusuan yes ye da wase awo na aboa na yebodru pempendro ye dri asidan kan wuzin ye dru ohai ba sen oye wado oye wasida mami ye da wase wonsan esre to me na yam on so ye do na se asase to me na yam on so ye do na se insumi wi ase to me na so da so so da asase yam on ye do na se eje wi ase to me na aseda ye wonza ye do na se ye do na se da wokodo wokan ye ho no woye ma ofata when na abrabo da ma oduma nkoma na ansa da ahye won se no wo hwe bibia ye promprom aseda ye wonazi esi wonsanyo ajo wonsanyi amen wonsanyi abene wonsanyi amen wonsanyi yaw wonsanyo efi wonsanyi oh esi yema wonsa ajo yema wonsa abene yema wonsa awoku yema wonsa yawe yema wonsa efi yema wonsa amen yema wonsa nananum yeda wana ase wa kwana oduma nkoma na da for wondo vie tintim ye ne bra na ya brabo ne ye busua yeda wana ase nana frame wonsani nana frama nana wonsani na ofija hima me kira wonsa etumi obo bibi man hu ipani na ya ma won san yi abre es wonje won sa tumi obo Ghana man hu bani na ya da won ase tumi o wonsum tumi o wasa ase do tumi o mbobom tumi o kwayim tumi o wim tumi a wo Ghana mpatemu na ya ma won sa yes wonje won san yi antia tano pra yensu densu bosompe yama won so won san abosume do so ne so na wo gwe won so won san nananu ma wo akatechi nananu ma wo butre na ma wo buzia yama won sa wonje won sa osagefo kwame kroma je won sa imo na ejuma so pain na noche je won sa imo na ejuma so pain chumesi je won sa imo na ejuma da Kukubetu, Jewansa, saying Auntie Maggie, Jewansa, not saying Mina na being bed bonsu, Mamma wonsa, one saying Mina na being jetia, Mamma wonsa, one saying Nanama world the related truth or be biane busium. I don't know why man, I don't know where to appetite, I don't know why appetite, I don't know so all Ghana may na nanum, one saying ya da one I see, one couldn't carry one kodo boy and home ban, one couldn't see him, one couldn't share na wasn't, one couldn't mayan akukudra. Yedi General. Dema, a bonnet for na bibiara, or a prayer nor she shed it. Bibi Bokwacho, and then why Genesis Yendi. Him there. Wait to Jina. The word Jinem. The word Shasu there. Bonofono. On Yanako and Yabrabo. That bonofo Yabusium, a bonofo Yankuim, a bonofo when you Yankuim, a bonofo. Oh, yes, I'm a name now. A brofi. I want to walk Barbary, and I know you're the one show answer. Yendru baby, and so. Why shall I say that? Why you in some way, chip? That one my wife when you master tea, betting him. And so me there. Yes, and one I as tea and shrubby. Uncle Dan can answer man, Uncle Dan Z answer man. Uncle Dan boy in one boy enter, sing boy in Adrian. Uncle Dan in the man, then and the maid in train. Why no correspond and none yet don't ask. I'm paying you. In another my job too. Amen. Amen. Amen.
This morning I'm going to share some information on African spirituality and try to clear up some misconception about African spirituality and our concept of God. Now, first and foremost, we need to understand that to traditional African people, spirituality is the basis of all things in life. It guides all institutions that govern everyday living for the people. Now, many of us here in the West, we have a general misconception and misunderstanding of what African spirituality is. One such misconception is the African concept of God. This misconception arises because we try to interpret African spirituality the same way we interpret or the same way we practice Western religion system. Now, the traditional African way of thinking is as far from the East to the West when it comes to the Western way of thinking. So any attempt to understand African spirituality based on a Western viewpoint will end up being flawed and, the thesis will fall apart. Now, to traditional Africans, God is seen as the essence and ultimate reality of all things. God is not seen as separate from its creation, but it functions in different degrees in and as its creation. Now, it is said by John Mason in his book Black Gods. He says that the Yoruba people, which is a West African traditional society, God is seen in everything and have a different name for God in everything and every circumstances. In the Kemetic scriptures, which is the ancient Egyptian scriptures, in a book called The Knowing of Transformation of Ra and the Overthrowing of Apep, God, or Nebeche, which means Lord of all, is made to say, I came into being from primal matter, coming into being in the multitude of forms from the beginning. Now, this is a clear indication that from the traditional African viewpoint, God is not separate from things, or God is not separate from creation. Now, in relation to man, since God is not separate, our interaction with the Supreme Being is different from that of Western religious system. Unlike Western religions, who require their members to worship God, in the traditional African approach, we are required to cultivate the characteristics of God in our being. These characteristics are personified as the spiritual agencies underlying all bases of life. The misunderstanding of these spiritual agencies has led Western man to think that African people are polytheists, but that's not the case. The rituals and ceremonies that are performed for these so-called gods are actually the methods we use to invoke and develop these spiritual agencies within our own being. In the Yoruba tradition, which is the same West African spiritual tradition, these spiritual agencies are called orishas. In the Kemetic or the ancient Egyptian system, they are called as neteru, where we get the Latin word natura, where we get the word nature from. Now, in the handbook for the Yoruba religious concept, it says orisha as a term is actually the combination of two Yoruba words. Ori, which is the relative spark of human consciousness. The word Ori also means head in Yoruba language. And Sha, which is the ultimate potentiality of that consciousness to enter divine consciousness. So here we see that these spiritual agencies, or the orishas, are the means by which our consciousness is united with the divine consciousness, or the consciousness of God. Ra'u Nefer Amen, the leading authority of Kemetic spirituality and someone I look up to and who has taught me a lot in terms of understanding African spirituality, says in his Mitoneta Volume 1 that the Neteru, or deities, represent the laws governing our lives on earth. Observing these laws allow them to fully bring forth their powers through our being. So here we have, from the ancient Egyptian standpoint, that these spiritual agencies are seen as laws in which when we align ourselves and, observe these laws, we manifest the power of the Supreme Being in our lives. So therefore, the worship of God, according to the traditional African concept, is to develop these spiritual agencies to manifest in our lives, to manifest the power and wisdom of the Supreme Being in our lives. Now, though God is impersonal to traditional Africans, it becomes personal through us, through our spiritual development. Now, to conclude, African spirituality is not just a religion. It's a complete way of living, a complete way of life. It guides all aspects of our living and our relation with others. Our concept of God cannot be understood from a Western viewpoint because of the different way of thinking of Western man and the traditional Africans. God is not separate from creation. God is not separate from man. The worship of God consists of the cultivation and development of spiritual agencies that are the underlying basis of all things and activities in the world. It is through the process of spiritual cultivation that the Supreme Being becomes personal in our lives, sharing with us its wisdom and power. So I encourage you, especially my brothers and sisters of African descent, to explore more into the traditions of our ancestors. To dig deeper into African spirituality is to get a deeper understanding of who you are and who God is. It's not a case of being, informed about God through scriptures and sermons, but it's a direct knowledge and experience of God in your daily lives. Peace and blessings. Have a good day.
Akwaba, Akwaba, Akwaba. Welcome once again. It's the high day. It's the day of sacrifice. I get excited every time we come to the day of sacrifice. And yesterday was a tough one for me because I lost a dear friend, and it was a tough one. May her soul rest in perfect peace, and may she continue to grow and increase and dominate in her next life. And just as she was an amazing person in this life, we know without a doubt that the ancestors and the elders have welcomed our sister Sewa Denchi into the dimensions, and indeed she is in a great place. I also want to say thank you to everybody that keeps supporting us, that keeps sharing us. We know, listen, I know that this platform is not for the weak-minded. I know that this platform is not for those who are not sure of where they are heading to in their lives. So if you are here, you are part of this family. If you watch me every day, I salute you and I say thank you for your bravery. You are brave. You are a brave one. You are a brave person. So I would say you are brave for even considering being a part of this family. This is only our beginning. Whatever it is that you think you've ever had, whatever it is that you think you've ever experienced, this is only our beginning in this family. Because in this house, nothing is stopping what the creators, what the powers that be, what the authorities in the dimension have established. Nothing is going to alter it. This house is going to be a beacon. This family is going to be a beacon to the rest of the world. And the world is going to go, no. The world is going to know what the ancestors and the powers that be and the creator is doing through this house. So you are in a great place. You are in the right place. And I want us to dive straight into the subject for today. But before I do that, let me just back it up from where we got to last week. I said, Yami or Onyame is the name of the creator, or we call it Obadiah, the supreme being in Akan language. So Yami or Onyame is the creator, is the name, is the title. And I said last week, it's more of a title than it is a name. So it's a title, but when you keep calling a title over a period of time, it literally becomes somebody's name. But that is not the creator's revealed name unto mankind. This is man's name, man's title given to the creator, explaining man's understanding, or explaining how man has been able to receive the understanding of who the creator is. So Yame corresponds to the spiritual idea of God, or the spiritual idea of there being existence, a God. The supreme being is also referred to as Odumankuma or Onyankopon as well. Onyankopon in the Akan spirituality system represents the supreme being, whereas Odumankuma is an infinite being whose beginning and end are unknown to human beings. So on the Akan platform of spirituality, Onyame or Yame or Odumankuma or Yankopon does not have a beginning. No human being is or has the understanding or is or neither or how should I say this? It is never revealed to any human being how the creator started, and no human being would ever know how the creator would end. The day the creator ends, it simply means is that all life forms ceases. So in our spirituality, in the spirituality of the Akan system, the creator has always been and would always be. The creator has always been and would always be. The three names, Yame, Onyankopon, and Odumankuma, exist to identify the supreme creator, the originator of the universe, the infinite, respectfully. The originator of the universe, the infinite, respectively. So Yame is the name that is basically known for the creator. Onyankopon is what? Identified as the supreme creator, the originator of the universe. The originator of the universe. So Onyankopon in our spirituality started the universe, or originated. When it says something, it means it came out of him. It came out of. So Onyankopon was not in the beginning. He was out. When you think about it, when you understand it, you know how beautiful and deep this is. When somebody decides to create something, the person is not in the creation. The person is not with the creation. It simply means that creation exists out of him. So whatever creation story that is told, it does not incorporate the creator. That is how come nobody has been able to understand the foundation of the creator. And nobody would ever be able to understand the foundation, because the creator is not part of the foundation of creation. That is why he is the creator. He is the one that created. So he brought to being. So the question is, he existed. That is why I started by saying, to understand how deep spirituality is, it's basically an endless road. Because if the creator existed, then decide to create the creation, it means that the creator is existing out of creation. So for you to understand the creator, you need to exceed the limit and the boundaries of creation and go beyond the boundaries of creation before you can even think of coming into the realms of the creator. So if I create this vessel, whatever that exists in this vessel has the vessel to be its boundaries. So before the vessel or whatever content that is in this vessel can understand who I am as its creator, the content first needs to go out of the boundaries of this vessel. So for us to understand or even begin to fathom who the creator is, we literally need to go beyond the existence of creation. You see how impossible that seems? That is how come in our spirituality, we understand that our creator exists out of creation and not in creation. He created all things. He is continually creating and restructuring his universe. He created all things. He is continuously creating. He continues to create. And he continues to recreate and restructure his creation. So there are a lot of things that is in existence now that was not in existence before. Somebody would ask that, wait a minute, but if the technologies that are coming out is coming out after creation, how is the creator the one creating the technologies that are coming out and everything that is being discovered now? You need to understand that just as human beings are able to bring something into being out of nothing, it's the same way the powers that be, the gods, have been given the mandate, the authority to also bring things into this dimension that does not exist. Take your time to think about it. If the human being can just chew cashew or chew apple, have a bite of an apple, and the human being's mechanism is able to process this apple to become an extension of the human being, it means that whatever it is that is going on in the dimensions that we have not understanding to it yet, is also creating things into being. So the Mother Earth is constantly creating. That is why when you grade a grounds, give it a few years, or when you totally take off the black soil of a ground, give it a few years, it'll all grow back. That is why you can discover that there's a place that has not oil at a given point in time, or the oil of a particular region is very minimal. But over the years, it begins to grow and multiply. So creation did not stop from the day of the 7 days that we've all been told. Creation is an everlasting thing. I know a lot of people come with the argument that he created everything and rested the 7th day. But there was an 8th day. What did he do on the 8th day? What did he do on the 9th day? What did he do on the 10th day? A lot of people were not in existence, even if you want to stick to the Bible story. We have a lot of people in existence today. Where did all these creatures come from? Because creation is an eternal thing. There would always be something new, and the old would always go out of mode and reform itself and recreate and reinvent itself. So creation itself, as we know it, is a cycle that keeps bringing, keeps giving, keeps bringing something new into this dimension that wasn't there before. So if man can create all these technologies and advancements that we have around us, what do you think the gods would be able to do? If we can bring a plan out of nothing into existence, then what do you think the gods will be able to do? So the gods are very much part of the creative process or the creation process, just as you are. Why? Because the Creator has given that mandate to you and I and the gods and everything that exists in the dimension to be able to reproduce, to be able to recreate things into being. So the word Yami, or the name or the title Yami, is one. And it links the Akan spirituality into the system of monotheism, in the sense that we believe, as a matter of fact, the Akan spirituality or the African spirituality is the first that brought the understanding of the Creator being one. So in our spirituality, we have never understood the Creator to be multiple, or two, or double, or three. We have never gone beyond the Creator to have a Creator. Nobody has ever come out of our spirituality to declare they were there with the Creator, and it was through them that the Creator created everything. Nobody in our spirituality has claimed they were with the Creator. In our spirituality, the Creator has always been by himself with herself. So you realize what I just did? Himself, his feminine, his masculine energy, and herself, his feminine energy, who is the Asasiya, our Mother Earth. And she's not just a mother to this earth, she's a mother to all the other dimensions as well. This is revealed by the fact that Yami is one word in the Akan language that has no plural roots by linguistic construct. So Yami is one word in the Akan language, and this word has no plural roots attached to it. So the word or the name or the title Yami is one, which represents the fact that the one that is being given this title is also one, and nobody besides him and nobody by him. The plural would have been Ayami or Inyami. The plural might have been Ayami or would be ayame, or inyamenum. So when you say that, you bring a plural element to a single word element. So when we refer to the sons of the Creator, which is the God, we refer to them as anyamemo or nyamemo, which simply is telling us that they are multiplicity of the sons of the Creator and not just one son of the Creator. To emphasize, so the plural would have been ayame or nyamemo, which is non-admissibly in the Akan language. To emphasize the oneness of Nyame, the word Onyame is more often used to represent the uniqueness of the Creator as the one and only supreme being. So for us to express this, we often use Onyame or Onyame, which firmly grounds or keeps the title Nyame rooted to its foundation. So the meaning the word Onyame comes up, it is simply suggesting the idea of how the Akan spiritual system or the African spiritual system believes so much so and strongly back the idea of how monotheistic our Creator is. You get a picture? Our fathers have always seen the Creator and nature to be one. Our fathers have never really separated the two. So our fathers believe, or the intelligence, or the information, the knowledge we came to meet is such that the Creator is the spirit form of nature. So the two are one, but nature manifests to help us understand a bit, just a tiny bit, how the Creator or who the Creator is. So we believe nature is just a manifestation of the Creator himself. That is why in our spirituality, we believe without a doubt that the Creator is in everything that surrounds us. That the Creator is in every single thing that we see. That the Creator is with every single thing that we experience. So it is not a separate syllable. So while nature explains the science of creation, the spirit side is left for those who want to connect, not just stay at the corridors or the doors of creation, but who wants to connect to the Creator through his creation. So when you spend time in nature, when you spend time sitting in the park under trees, on the mountains, by the rivers, by the waterfalls, when you spend time, you are literally experiencing the Creator through the very nature that you are spending time with. So when you spend time with your wife, you are experiencing the essence of the Creator through a woman. When you spend time with your husband, you are experiencing the male energy of the Creator. When you spend time with the animals, you are experiencing the Creator through the diversity of himself. So whatever you spend time with, it is literally you having an experience of who the Creator is. So when oftentimes people run off and say, we do not know how the Creator is, we cannot understand, nobody has seen, indirectly or technically, every single one of us have seen the Creator. Why do I say this? Because every single one of as in nature, or every single thing that is existing in nature, is simply a representation of who the Creator is. Our fathers always saw the Creator to be the very life that permeates through everything and through all things. The very force behind every single thing that moves on the face of this dimension, or in the astral world, or in the cosmos. The very essence of every single thing that moves is the essence of the Creator himself. This life has got no shape or size. It has no beginning or no end. So the scriptures that says that he is the beginning and the end is definitely not describing the Creator. Because in our understanding, how can you know the size of the Creator if you cannot tell the size of the region you find yourself in accurately? How can you know the Creator? Because if everything is representing the Creator, then obviously you cannot know the existence of everything. So you cannot know the Creator in that sense. You cannot find the beginning of the Creator, because without him there is no beginning. So beginning started out of him. So how can he be the beginning if he started the beginning? Does it make sense? If he created the beginning and he started, because let's even come down to intellect, information. Let's go to the Bible. It says, in the beginning he created. So the question is, where was he in the beginning? So he cannot be that beginning if he created the beginning. And he cannot have an end, since nothing is coming to an end. There's nowhere in scripture that says nature or existence or the cosmos is coming to an end. If anything at all, if the Bible is anything to go home with, and when I say the Bible, I mean the entire thing, so I'm including all the lies that we have in there. If it is anything to write home about, it even tells you that it is only this earth that he is going to bring it to an end and restart it, right? So therefore, how can there be an end if there's not going to be an end to the entire existence of life? So he is not the beginning, because he created the beginning. And he does not have an end, because nothing will end. So this simply tells you, when you read scriptures like, hold on, let me search it for you. Let's go to Revelations 22:13. It says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the... How can he be the Alpha if he created the Alpha? So if anything at all, what they should have said was he created the beginning, not he is the beginning. When you say he is the beginning, it means that the beginning started from him. If the beginning started from him, then how did he create the beginning? It means what? He came out of the beginning, then he decided to create. But he said what? In the beginning, he created. So he started creating. So he cannot be in the creation. And that is the spirituality of our fathers. And he cannot have a last either. Let me check another place. Isaiah 44:6 says, that says the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of men. I am the first and the last. How? The first of what? Are you getting it? If you say I am the first, it means when creation started, I am the first that was created. First of what? First amongst what? Let me use a simple analogy to explain this to you. When you have a parent and a parent creates children, you said, I am the firstborn. So when you go to the scripture, it says, I am the first. If this is referring to the creator, and it says that I am the first, the who created the first? The last of who? Isaiah 48:12 says, listen to me, O Jacob, even Israel whom I called. I am he. I am the first, and I am also the last. So scriptures like that will not make sense if it is referring to the creator. Because in the creator's account, the creator is not the first. He created the first. He created the first. So all forms and shapes that we see in our everyday life is basically a representation, a manifestation of who the creator is, and not the creator. Because the creator is beyond his creation. So in the spirituality of our fathers, the creator is not the beginning. He created the beginning. He owns the beginning. He birthed forth the beginning. So the creator is outside his creation, and his creation is a manifestation of everything that he is. So how can you conceive how big the creator is? The trees are manifesting him. The rivers, the seas, the oceans, the sky, the planetaries, everything is a manifestation of himself. So how can you quantum the shape and the size of our creator? So our creator has no shape, has no size. Our creator has always been and would always be. He's not the first, and he's not gonna, he is existence itself. He is the reason why everything is simply what it is. This elevates him above his creation. And so therefore, he would never be in competition with his creation. If anything at all, it is the creation that would compete with each other, trying to fight positions. But the creator cannot be jealous of you, about you, or for you. He created you. How can he be jealous of you or for you? Are you understanding what I'm saying? He knows you are a manifestation of himself. And he gave you a free will above all creations, that you can choose freely what you do with what he's given you. I'll continue next week. Have a great evening. I love you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's wake our family up. Let's wake our people up. There's a lot that is happening in the spirit. It's time to take advantage of it. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you tomorrow at the Sabbath Watch.